Hey David, how are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Awesome, awesome. I'm good. I'm good. Great to have you here. Thank you for taking the time out. For those of you that watch the replay or join us, this is David Valter from Top Choice Awards. I wanted to get him on here because I had I had some experience when I first met him back in the martial art days and saw him grow an amazing brand and company, Top Choice Awards, from zero, I guess, an idea into what it is today, right? And
Correct.
yeah, if you don't mind, I know we're short on time, you're short on time, so I just want to ask you, I'm going to go back to when you first started. You were a martial artist, and I understand that's something that's one of your passions. Um, you were into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and also Kung Fu, is that correct? Or can you give a little bit
Correct.
of
Correct.
insight?
I started in Kung Fu until I was 20 years old, and then I got involved from 20 to 30 into the Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts. And then basically interesting, actually, the Top Choice Award started because of that, because what happened was that I was called by CDTV due to one of the parents of my students being very touched and motivated by the fact that the kids started to listen more and obey and being with better marks at school, because during my classes I was making sure that they were not just students of martial arts but students of life. And I want to make sure
Mm,
that if they are great students to go to the next level, they would have to have great marks and great skills in communication and being. So the mother was a single mother. She got really touched by the fact of the kid, the development that he had. So called the
yeah.
CDTV. CDTV called me in for an interview, and they gave me an award as a community hero, something like that. At the time it was 17, 20 years ago. So
Wow.
from that moment, I felt in my heart that everyone that does and loves what they do and puts that passion and effort into something should be rewarded. And something flashed in my head. I guess we call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, God or the rock, whatever you call it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Did communicate with me, and I felt it, and I felt it in my heart. There was something stronger, and perhaps I was a vessel to that energy, and I had to pass it on. So I said, why not start asking around? It was like this. The idea was to do for all the martial arts schools to see in different categories. So let's say who's the best Taekwondo school, or who's the best kickboxing, or who's the best Kung Fu or Jiu-Jitsu. But then I started to feel that it wasn't fair to separate the martial arts, as they are all a community. And
Mm,
then from that grew into the multicultural Top Choice Awards. That was how we started, because we had so many communities in Toronto. And from there we saw the model of the business had potential and grew into cities. And now we are in Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, Edmonton, all Canada, all over. And we just trademarked in the States 2 years ago, and now are in Texas and other cities in the States developing. And that's where we are today. 17 years working into the Top Choice Awards. We became basically a marketing company for businesses that are being actually receiving the trust and the love and the care of the public. So our surveys became very particular for small and mid-sized businesses,
mm.
and it was from there that everything started.
Wow, amazing.
Martial
So it all
arts.
started, yeah. So like, it's amazing. Like you put out some goodwill to that one student, well, to many, but it came
Yes.
back through one, inspired an
Yeah.
idea in you. At that point, did you ever think that it was going to become so big? Like honestly, or were you
Uh,
just thinking step by step? Like what was your mentality?
well, I'm gonna like this is interesting. I believe that we are as big as our team. Um, I I normally people ask me, what do you do in the company? I say nothing. I really don't know what I do in the company. I just have a vision, and I know the direction. Like when before the virus came, I kind of felt it. And people
Mm,
say, how did you know that? My team asked me already, like, how did you feel that? Because I
mm,
started to already work in a variety of ways that we would have to be more mobile, and in such a way that it's kind of how the world is going and how it feels. So
Hmm.
before it happened, I kind of knew that something could happen that would obligate us to work more like you are now. Like, what are you doing right now? This is a result. And prior to that, others were already doing it,
Yeah.
podcasts and all this, all the radios, all TVs. It all started with when I started to feel back in the time, Blockbuster closed because of, what today is,
Yeah.
let's go chill with
Yeah.
Netflix. And from there, everything started in my mind thinking one day we're not going to be able to do much. If you want to be in business, um, you can have either being a local business that offers direct to public, and
Yeah.
and that is going to be even a luxury, I believe, in the future. This is my
Hmm.
perspective. um, because more and more is going to be working from home and doing this type of interactions that we're doing right now. and
Yeah.
and um, yeah, I knew that, like, people were saying, how you think you're going to be surveying people in Vancouver or Calgary, Winnipeg, if you are located in Toronto? And I used to
Yeah.
say, I'm not located in Toronto, I'm located all over the world. If you have internet, we can perform the same thing. I mean,
That's right.
after
Yeah.
after all this that happens, actually, we just launched, and the app is coming up next week. We tested and we launched the I Trust Local. Um, because of that, yes, that's what I meant. We started the I Trust Local before the virus, and it was because of that vision of doing surveys in all cities that are looking to grow and looking to that type of marketing. Because at the end of the day, what we do is we market businesses that are passionate and loved by their clients, because they take the
Mm.
time to actually get their clients to participate in this type of surveys that we do. And we believe in that passion.
I see.
I mean, there are tons of businesses out there, and like, we know in martial arts schools, and we also know that our great martial arts schools that are driven by great individuals that are passionate by what they do, they love what they do every day. And there are others there that are there for the money, and they are there to make a
Yeah.
buck, and they are there to, and that's the type of business that we were trying to kind of avoid in a way. Because at the end of the day, we wanted to engage with businesses that are passionate about what they do, and that
Wow.
is the
Amazing.
mind that Top Choice Awards wins. So that's why I Trust came out now and is going to grow to become a very useful tool for Top Choice Awards, because people are already doing reviews on I Trust, and we just saw businesses getting 20, 30 reviews because they are sending the link of I Trust Local to their customers. Again, they are passionate for what they
Wow.
do. They want to be present. They understand the market online. They understand people. Consumers nowadays are very, very educated. They check you out. They go online. They see the reviews. They even see that if it's only good reviews, it's also not good, because a lot of
Mm.
people write fake reviews. And
Yeah.
in this world, we need to have the balance. And I always say that it's like this phone that I'm talking to you right now, is the other side, which is the rigid part, the solid part, and then the software. And I believe that both makes one, and that's the same thing in business and reviews. A business needs to grow, and it only grows by listening to the consumers that will tell you, either you like it or not, what mistakes you are doing. And that's what we do. We take care of that. That's basically what my team does. Like I said, I don't know much. I just have a vision, and I try to guide my team to that vision.
But I mean, think about it. Isn't that the way to think as an entrepreneur? From all the books I've read and everything I've seen, and in my own experience, that's very important. But then, what advice would you give to people that they don't have the team, or they don't have the team yet, right? Like how can they separate doing what you do in the day and then doing it? Should they compartmentalize? Like, what do you recommend? Like, how can we do that?
How can you mean, like, how can we build a team? Is that more the idea?
I mean more like people that don't have access to a team, or they have
Oh,
not even, maybe they're not there
yeah,
yet. They're just solo entrepreneur. Like, what would you recommend for them
yeah.
to focus on?
Okay, so I believe that association is key. So
Hmm.
what I mean by that is, if you are a solo entrepreneur, and you want to grow, um, as any company, it can, but it has to be by association. So, for example, associating that brand with or the solo proprietorship or the entrepreneurship, whatever you want to call it, to a few companies that have a great history, that alone makes it strong, makes that validation and that step into the market that nowadays a lot of people are so doubtful about. That's what the bad side of the internet, I believe, is that part where everyone thinks that everything can be a lie or a pretend game. What happened? That's why I called it a luxury being
So
person.
true.
So for example, coming up in I believe that coming up 2022 and on is going to become like two groups of people where they're going to be afraid of interaction in person, and they're going to be also another group that is going to be looking to interact in person because that is the need, and what we are humans, social. That said, what I mean by association is, if you associate yourself to a brand or a company that has an history and that is it will work as a validation for you and for your brand or your program or your service or your product, whatever that may be, by you doing that on Facebook, Google, by you doing that on, online and in person at events, I believe a lot of companies are going to start doing in-person events. So networking is going to be the next level. When before COVID was dying, I think it's going to reboost in a different way, and it's going to so entrepreneurship alone should be associated, so you have you use your internet and your platform and your own being to ramificate to those, so they speak on your behalf, kind of thing, like we're doing right now. This can become very useful for your program and very useful for us, because at the end it's going to be recorded and everyone can see it in the future. I can send this to anyone and they can get that information and become somehow more educated about what they want to do in the future for their business.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like you're saying something in common that other successful entrepreneurs are telling me too, and they're saying something in common about how networking is more important now than ever in a way. Is that kind of what you're saying? Yeah?
I think the networking is going to become I mean, you see, right now we are doing this online, and if I was speaking in front of a group in person and then afterwards have some wine and cheese and speak, the energy is transferred differently. However, this audience that I'm having right now can grow a lot more, but if you do that in person and then utilize that to grow more, then the validation is a lot stronger. So basically,
I see.
Do you see what I'm saying? So
I see what you're saying.
Two avenues, which is,
Yeah.
imagine you organize an event that is in person at some hotel, and then we all go there and give a speech like TED Talk, Tech, that type of line. People are there, and then it's distributed. I think it's going to be the future in terms of business exposing their services, their passion, their products, whatever that may be, is going to be the future, because we are social beings. We are going to need to interact. It's impossible to live like this. This is going to drive people insane. I already is.
Yeah, now here's the thing too, like you're also a father of two beautiful kids who are growing up. And I know that originally, you also instilled a lot of entrepreneur kind of base in them. How do you balance, like being a dad and running a bit, like you're very busy. Like I've seen you from like I said, starting Top Choice Awards to growing it, and you've always stayed humble and true and good to everyone. And I know you put the customer first. I know that because I've seen it. And and the thing is, that's why I really wanted to because it inspires me to talk to you. But what I'm saying is, like, you're also a dad. Like you have kids to deal with. You have, like, how do you balance all that with time wise? Like, I know you're very busy.
But I think basically I think everything comes from the martial arts. I learned since I was a young boy that if you have too much of anything, then you basically out of balance. And they say money only makes you more of what you already are. So if you're a good guy, a good person, and you know values and you put people first and use things instead of people, then basically you are going to grow always. But then that balance comes with a price, and that price is basically you having to understand that we had ancestors that fought for to be where you are right now, and me to have this privilege that we're having. We are here now, and we're going to pass it on. So the balance, I believe, is every time something makes me feel uncomfortable, I look for, either is in business or is in family, I look for that balance in the martial arts. So I go back to the martial arts and I do a lot of meditation, and I do try to listen to the voice of my inner self, and what I used to do before my fights and before the training sections that were very, very hard back in the time are not like soft as it is now. It was really rough. And the senseis that I had were not as soft as they are now. They're more like of a father figure outside of school. And I learned how to have the determination, the discipline, and I discipline myself. And I believe that I call it the dragon. So we all have a dragon, which is our mind. And our mind is constantly tell us to not get up in the morning, just stay in bed, and why not? It's so cozy here. My pillow is nice. Why do I have to get up? Then you have a nice, you work hard, and you have a nice fancy car, and you have like AC and comfortable seats and massage and nice, and you drive cool. Then you can fly, and you can fly in first class if you want with service. And then you have all these comfort zones that you get involved with, but then being able to understand that if you, by any chance you have to be in a zone where that is the car is not the greatest, or maybe not a car, you have to walk, and the bed is actually not as comfortable, or even you have to sleep on the ground, then you have to create that, you have to go back to the balance where you understand that you are the being, and you are the one that has to have control over your dragon, control over your mind. And from that moment on, you always find, I just opened that's the reason why I'm here in Portugal, because I opened another business. It's called Pick Me Up, and is a company of tourism, and the tourism got a hit blue as well.
Of course, yeah.
And if you go online and you look at pickmeup.com or websites or Instagram or Facebook, you will see what type of business this is. And basically is a very rough business where people come to climb the highest point of Portugal. And I did it many times, actually, a few times already, 3 times, actually 4.
Wow.
And we slept in the crater of the volcano on the tent underground, and a few times there. And the cold, the ground is rough rocks. The climbing is basically ruthless, like crazy. You have mindset, and a lot of people quit. A lot of people give up. A lot of people don't make it halfway. And you will see the reviews online, and you see it. And I made it, and people look at me and say, "Oh wow, you keep going." And I think to myself, there is no other way. There is no other way. I don't know any other way. I just know that if you have that passion in you, you have to dominate your mind, and the balance arrives when you realize that it's just body pain, that is not you. You like, people know that if you train, you know that you're not your mind and you're not your body. You are this energy that is inside of us, and that energy is what I find the balance. What else? Yeah, I mean, being married is already a test. I'm sure you know how it is. Being a father like that is a second test, because you see your faults in your kids, and you see the good things and the bad things that you have done are there mirrored back to you on that moment. And then you either you know, I did a mistake. I did a mistake, and now I see my kid. If you swear a lot, he's gonna swear, and you don't want him to swear in front of people. Well, it's your fault. And now I gotta change my habits, and therefore that's what I find my balance. I find my balance admitting, accepting, and controlling, and doing that exercise of being self-disciplined. That's what I think I find balance to organize all that.
Wow, that's amazing. So you labeled this, how people say the monkey mind, you call it a dragon. So
Yeah, I
that's
call it the.
awesome. That's
I was born in
awesome.
1976, so I'm the year of the dragon in the Chinese New Year.
Oh
So I said
my God.
it's the dragon. I said
That's
I
really
have a
cool. I'm going to
dragon
use
who
that.
always balls of fire. It comes out sometimes.
That's so true, man. And your kung fu background too, also, right? The dragon.
I I
But
um I do recommend everyone to train martial arts, or
yeah,
put their kids into some type of school of dance, or school of theater, or anything that creates discipline, that they have a schedule to fulfill, that they have regulations, that they have understanding, and they have mental and physical and spiritual work that brings them to uncomfort zones. So only from there they will understand when life brings those uncomfortable times, that they are capable of going through them. Because uh, most of kids, if you see those that in the future have really rough situations, or even end up in very weird cases, are those that normally are those that came from a very comfortable lifestyle, and then they
yeah.
actually are not prepared. It's like having a dog at home all day, all the time, and then one day just living in the middle of the jungle, he's not going to survive.
He's not going
So
to survive. Yeah.
yeah.
So is that why, like, a quick question about the climbing, right? Like, do you find something like a spiritual feeling or a place when you're at that point of almost quitting? Or do you
See,
feel the ego pushing it as well? Like, what do you feel at that point? What makes you
every time
go?
every time I get to the top of the mountain, I literally cry. And I have some videos on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever. You can see it. I can send it to you guys, and you can see them.
Yeah, I want to see
I,
that.
I
That's
literally
amazing.
get emotional,
Wow.
because it's you see, what happens is, I get there, I take my shoes off, and I do some grounding, and I feel the energy from the ground. I feel the energy from above, and I understand that we are just part of that dust, that we came from that dust, that we're going back to that dust. And
Wow.
the time of that ground, of the climbing, that time is when you have time to realize so much, because your mind brings you to points where you say, first you go like, why did I do this? Why did I
Yeah,
chose
why
to
are
do
you
this
doing
again?
this?
Or even start this? Like, what's the point of this? So
Yeah,
it's starting denial. And then you go, you keep walking, and then you see others moving, and then you see, for example, I see the other day a lady 76 years old. She was climbing, and
wow.
I saw 27-year-olds quitting, and I saw her continuing, and
Wow.
I was inspired by that. And I
That's
said,
amazing.
oh my God, I thought I was I thought I was doing a big deal until I saw her. Um,
Wow.
and I realized that that is basically, you become numb. Your body
Yeah.
feels completely nothing. Your mind
Yeah.
goes to a quiet, like you said, the monkey noise, bap, goes bye. It stays
Wow.
quiet. And then you just feel this breathing and this motion, and you start feeling more of the nature, like the universe. You start feeling the wind. You start feeling
Wow.
you start smelling more. Your senses really get a lot hyped up. It's kind of a high. You get high.
Yeah, yeah.
You really get high on your own mind. And
That's
then,
amazing.
yeah, it's an amazing. Actually, it's funny because we are working on a program right now, this team building, and we are starting to create this program where we're going to be bringing companies and their team members to actually climb together and
Wow.
work as a team, to see how, outside of the office and outside of their daily routine, how they communicate and how they can engage to
Yeah.
grow. Because that's what it brings. It brings that spiritual interaction, communication, engagement.
That's amazing. Wow. This is truly amazing. I had no idea you were doing this. That's
Yeah, no,
and it, yeah.
I can't stand still. I have a problem since I was a kid. My parents always said that I can't. I have some type of I think it's the dragon in me, but me
Yeah.
controlling the dragon most of the time. Okay, it's not all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes,
That's amazing.
sometimes
No, it's very inspiring. I love this conversation. It's
thank
amazing
you.
what you're saying. Just, I know you're pressed for time, so I'm gonna just honor that. And I just want, if you can do one question,
Yep.
last question. And this is basically, how important is branding to entrepreneurs? Like, how, to recommend to young entrepreneurs? How important is branding, and what do you tell them like when they want to give up on that
Oh,
grind?
well, this is how I see it. Branding, advertising, and marketing are completely different. A lot of people think they are similar. A lot of people defend that. A lot of people think it's the same, or some think that branding and marketing are the same and the advertising is not. I believe that three different sections.
Okay.
So to me, advertising is it's something that is completely direct kind of thing. It's like more of here's an ad and you see it, and because you see the ad or you see the logo, you know that is that. So you look at a Coca-Cola bottle and you say, okay, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Then you have marketing, which requires a little bit of effort in terms of the sales. So for example, you see the Coca-Cola, but now the Coca-Cola says, oh, new flavor, zero whatever they use to advertise, right? But now they're marketing it to your mind to make it kind of so advertising is immediate reaction. Marketing is a mid-time range, so you start thinking about it. And then branding to me is everything. That is branding is, a lot of people say branding is not everything. I say branding is the only thing, because
Wow.
branding to me is the most important part of a business in the long term. So Top Choice Awards is only here today, 17 years later, because I had a vision in the branding. Like I told you before, I did not know how to get there, and I have a team behind me that I work with, that I try, but I listen to them, and I sometimes very frustrated because I don't even understand what their proposals are, but I just know that if they follow the vision that I have and they guide and they work towards that, we all going to be on the same boat and we're all going to be above the water. And when things like this virus shows up, people will recognize the brand. Now,
Yeah.
the brand is key, and the branding of the brand is the only thing, because
Wow.
in the future, your mind is going to, when you drive and see it, or when somebody puts it online, or when somebody says, they are going to associate what they felt or what they know about the branding. And one day when they need it, they will need some time. We all gonna need a doctor. We all gonna need a mechanic. We all gonna need a dentist. You are going to remember the
Yeah.
brand. You're not gonna remember anything else. You're gonna remember the
Yeah.
brand. You're gonna say, oh yeah, it's Dr. Nino on St. Clair that I gotta go
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
is known.
So true.
So that's
Yeah.
sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. That is so true. And honestly, that was, man, the way you put it was unlike, I always hear Gary Vee say it, this and that, but the way you put it makes so much sense. Makes so much
Oh,
sense.
thank
That's
you. You know what?
awesome. Because
Yeah,
it's more
I don't know.
relatable
Some
to
people
us,
may not
right?
agree.
You know? No, no, I'm hearing
Yeah,
that a lot. It's just a matter of, you know what it is, David? A lot of people, like including myself, like you
yeah.
just sometimes you just feel like giving up because it takes so much time, right? Like it takes continuous patience and continuous effort, right? Does it not? Right?
Yes. I mean, you need to understand one thing. Um, Branding is not a destination. You're never gonna get there because it has to evolve. But the
Oh,
message of
I
the
see.
branding is constant.
I
So
see.
you see the difference? Like
I
it's like,
see.
that's why I love branding, because what happens is, it's not like it's not going to be from one day to another, and it's not going to be, and sometimes it has to change, has to adapt. Look what are we doing now with I Trust. It's something that is kind of, it's by the team that did Top Choice, and is part of Top Choice and is going to help Top Choice, but the brand is Top Choice and people will recognize the Top Choice because of the name. But now, because I Trust is going to be associated by, then therefore is going to be recognized and reputable, and therefore is going to work because of that. However, yes, it does take time, and it is not something that we can just um, think is going to happen. It's going to take more than time. It's going to take a lot of patience, a lot of determination, a lot of setbacks, and during those setbacks is when we as entrepreneurs have to understand the difference between choosing to work from 9 to 5, and choosing to work from 9 to 9 to 9 to 9 because there is no time to relax. I mean,
Yeah.
you may have to be really feeling uncomfortable. I mean, feeling comfortable would be uncomfortable. You need to feel that. You need to not care. Like, you need to
Yeah.
not care. And you can't care. You can't. You just got to keep going, keep going, keep going. Like, what are you doing right now? It's not
Yeah.
easy. It's just booking all these interviews,
Yeah.
sure they are available to come, and then edit this, edit that, influence, open a channel. All this is
Yeah.
going to pay off in years from now. And then as you have a background as well, you using that
Yeah.
background to move forward, and that is your brand. Because, for example, I know you, like you know me. I know you back in
Yeah.
the time in the Muay Thai schools, and in Scarborough and in Brampton, and there's all that. And I know how much it is, because I was there too. I did it, and then
Yeah.
look, you think it was easy for me to quit my martial arts schools? It
Must have been
wasn't.
hard. Yeah. Must have been really
My
hard.
heart still hurts until
Yeah.
today. I still think so many times, should I open another school? Like, should I open one here in Portugal because, like, they need it?
Oh,
But yeah, definitely. I mean,
yeah.
but it comes down to the point where I need to think, okay, what was the idea of everything? And at the end of the day, I realized that for my family, for the businesses, for everyone, I was more of a marketing person and passionate
Yeah.
about bringing a brand to life.
Yeah.
And the martial arts was more of a way of living internally, because I was very rough with my students as well, and I know that. And then I started to realize that perhaps I should be more into this line, and then sometimes that shift, it's like, leads you to other things. You cannot be afraid of
Yeah.
something new. You have to
Makes
be
sense.
open, and that is what is hard. A lot of people, I just saw the other day, Sadhguru did an interview with a famous guy. I don't know his name. The guy that goes, all right, all right, all right. I don't know his
Oh
name.
yeah, I remember
Eh,
the interview.
he,
Yeah, there's a lot of clips. I forget his name. Matthew McConaughey or
Martin
something? No,
McCalling. Yeah,
something
yes,
like that. Yeah, yeah.
yes. And he said, Sadhguru said like this. He said, my blessing to you is that I wish that all your dreams never come true. And I was like, what? What did he say? Because he says he has a perspective. He says, basically, if my dreams will come true, then I would have a martial arts school in every part of the world, and I would have a chain of martial arts schools, and I would be doing that. But in reality, I got out of that, and I opened myself to do any other things, and it took me to so
Yeah,
many other places. And at
yeah,
the end, I still lived my dream of martial arts. I still did what I wanted, my passion, but I was
yeah,
able to say, I'm going to shift to this, and I'm now doing this pick me up thing, this
yeah. It's
this tourist
unbelievable.
company.
Yeah,
I, I don't regret it at all. I'm looking forward to new adventures and to new starts and new things. And already took me, the Portuguese interview, TV station was here yesterday. We were on
wow.
TV, and we were promoting the company and climbing it. And know, at the end of the day, we have one life, and living it all in one path, I think would be, in my perspective, a waste of energy, because we can do so much more. We are built to do so much more. We really can achieve anything we want.
Wow. Unbelievable. In 30 minutes, you gave us so much to think about. Branding
Ah,
is a
you,
journey, not a destination. That is huge. That is massive. That's
thank you,
massive. Like,
thank you.
wow. And honestly, I can relate to that with this because I'm doing this. I know it's for everyone too, but it's really for myself to learn and keep motivated and learn from you guys, right? And it's inspired me a lot. Like it's helped me. I'm 50 years old now. I want to feel a little bit more inspiration and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
use I want to do something meaningful, right? And
yeah.
man, out of respect for
You
you, I don't want to take more of your time. I mean,
Well, I just want to tell the viewers that
sure.
I know you for a while, and in my perspective, your kindness, your heart, and your dedication to everyone that you encounter, it has been, and that's all we can do anyways. But you doing it, basically, a lot of people don't, and you did, and you're still doing it, which is always and constantly trying to evolve, to adapt, and leave a good taste in people's mouths, which is your well, like you said to me, your goodwill at the beginning. And
Thank
I
you.
think that regardless of what is going to be the path, you're always going to receive uh, back what you put out. And this is a good example of it. I'm here. If you need anything, if you want to come to Portugal and climb the mountain and bring a team,
Wow.
I'm willing to, guys. It's up to you. Anything is possible, and it can change your life forever. And I believe that that's what you have in you, and that's what the search is constant. So you are on the right path, and I thank you for the courage and for the belief in that.
Oh, thank you, David. I appreciate it. I love and respect
Thank you.
your friendship, and wish you the best. Say hi to the kids from me. And
Thank
oh man, good luck with those climbs, man. I just
you,
can't
buddy.
believe what I just heard. It's crazy. Okay,
Thank you.
say hi to everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Ciao.